Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining another Ready to Ride Pilates horse rider session, where today we are going to be looking at your body as a whole. We use the whole of our body on the horse, so sometimes it's really useful just to work the whole of our body too. So let us get started. I hope you're warmed up, ready to go, but I'd like you to be thinking about the weight you've got through your feet, making sure it's equal in both of your feet, that your knees are soft, your headlights are to the front, and your shoulders are relaxed back and down. Then we're going to start with your head. We're going to do the little chin tuck, so little tuck in with your chin. Keep that tuck as you turn your head to one side, and keep the tuck as you turn your head to the other side. Watch with that tuck that you keep it the whole way through. The temptation is to let go, and then you find you're looking the whole way over your shoulder, which is fine, but that means you're not working those deep neck muscles quite so effectively if you are losing your tuck partway through. Also, just watch that your eyes stay to the front and you're not looking down or up. It wants to be straight back. Okay, then relax and let your head just relax facing the front, and we're going to loosen off through your upper back. So hold your hands together, turn them over, push forwards and away, stretch around that area around your shoulder blades, and then reach up for a good big stretch right up, lengthen down your sides. Bring your hands down, we'll do the same again. So it's forwards, push away, and then reach up. Big breath in at the top if you want to add to that stretch. Bring your hands down. We're going to do that one more time. So push forwards and up. And then bring your arms down by your side, and we're going to go onto your roll down. So if you go to the end of your mat, with your feet together, your knees nice and soft, and hands on the front of your thighs. Take your chin down onto your chest and slide your hands down, curling as tightly as you can through the whole of your spine, right until you get to the very bottom. Pause at the bottom for a breath in. Breathe out, slide your hands back up, tuck down with your pelvis first, and then stack each of your vertebrae one at a time until you get to the very top. Go do that again, so chin into your chest. This time focus on each vertebrae in turn, so through your shoulders, middle of your back, low back, and then pelvis moving last of all. Another breath in at the bottom. This time breathe out, bend your knees. We're going down onto your mat, and we're starting off on your front, and we're going to start with your swan dive. So for you at home, I'd like you looking face down. We're going to have your arms out to the side, elbows bent to 90 degrees. Bring your shoulder blades back and down so the front of your shoulders lifts away from your floor. Tummy away from the puddle of water, pelvic floor onto floor 3, and we'll start off just lifting your arms, just lifting them on their own, keeping your shoulder blades back and down. Then we'll see if you can do your arms, head and neck together. Keep the movement really small. If you make it too big, you'll just find that you sink down through your puddle of water. So keep the movement small, and then you can keep that puddle of water clear. Keep your breathing regular. Keep looking down as well, so don't be tempted to look ahead like you would if you were doing the cobra exercise. So stay looking down. Watch that your arms are moving as one unit. Quite often elbows tend to lead the way, so keep that area just moving as one unit. So it's the whole of your upper body moving as one. Keep your breathing and keep your pelvic floor for one last go. Super job. We're going to turn onto your side now, and I'd like you to have your legs completely straight. So if you can balance with your top hand onto your top headlight, keep it there. Otherwise, if you want to have it onto the floor in front of you, that's absolutely fine. Mouse holes open, pelvic floor onto floor 3, and we're going to work your glutes. So a nice big lift up as far as you can go comfortably, and slowly back down. Keep that mouse hole open all the way through. Keep that breathing really regular. If you can, keep your pelvic floor onto floor 3, even better. And watch with this one that you keep the movement steady all the way down as well as all the way up. It's very easy to lose a little bit of that control on the way down and let your leg land with a plop. You want it steady up and steady down. Now we're going to change and lead the movement with your toe turned upwards. Just watch with this, you don't then let the leg come forward. It wants to stay going up and down, keeping the mouse hole open, keeping the pelvic floor onto floor 3, regular breathing, just keep an eye on that top shoulder. Mine was just starting to get a little bit tense then, creeping up around my ear, so keep relaxed through that top shoulder. Watch that you're still turned out, toes leading, really means that you're nicely turning out from your hip. Do one more of this one, and then you're going to change and you're going to turn so that your foot is turned down, heel is up. Watch with this one that you don't roll forward through your pelvis. Again, you want to make sure that movement is from your hip, and off you go one more time into these lifts, still with the mouse hole, still with the pelvic floor, still with the breathing. And by doing all these 3 different positions, we work your glutes in 3 different ways, obviously, which means that you really work all the different fibres, because the fibres of your glutes cover lots of different directions, so we really work as many fibres as we can of your glutes. We're going to do one more. Okay, bring that leg down. We're going to go onto your back, and I'd like you to slide your headrest out of the way for the easy one for your first exercise, because we're going to do your shoulder bridge. So if you can have your feet and knees approximately hip width apart, feet slightly closer to your bottom than you might feel is necessary. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, then roll back so you imprint your low back into the floor, and then peel up each vertebrae in turn until you get to the top of your bridge. Make sure you can breathe at the top, and then come down each vertebrae in turn through your imprint and to neutral. We're going to do the same thing again. So it's pelvic floor, roll back and imprint, peel up. Nice relaxed breathing at the top. Make sure you're a straight line from shoulders, hips to knees, and then come back down through your imprint to neutral. The next one you do, I'd like you to stay up into that position. Hold your bridge, make sure your breathing is relaxed, and we're going to have a go at a few of your leg extensions. So holding that position, keeping your headlights level. If it helps you to have a little bit of feedback through your hands, then that's absolutely fine. Keep your breathing really regular. Try to keep your pelvic floor onto floor 3 as well. If you're finding you're getting any hamstring cramp, just bring your feet a little bit closer towards your bottom. So keep that breathing, keep the pelvic floor rather, and keep those headlights as still as you can. We're going to do one more with each leg. Okay, and then bring yourselves back down nicely through that segmental, each vertebrae in turn through your imprint and to neutral. We're now going to move on to doing your hip twist. So again, you might want to have your hands onto your headlights so you've got a little bit of feedback. If you've got a spiky ball handy, this is a good exercise to use your spiky ball. Shove your feet a little bit further away than you had them for your shoulder bridge. And again, pelvic floor onto floor 3. Think this time about ribs coming down towards your pelvis so that you're just stabilising through this part of your body. And we're bringing one leg up to tabletop and back down, and then the other leg up to tabletop and back down. Keeping your breathing regular and your pelvic floor onto floor 3. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can start from tabletop and bring each foot down, so you're tapping the floor with your toes and back up again. Now it's even more important that you're thinking about ribs to pelvis, making sure that your ribs don't start to creep upwards. If you want to make it harder still, then you can do both legs at the same time. It doesn't matter which version you're doing, provided you keep the basics. So breathing, pelvic floor, ribs to pelvis, and quality of movement, so your knees stay at approximately 90 degrees, and all that movement is from your hips. It's the hip control that matters when you're in the saddle and you're thinking about your leg aids. Keep the breathing. Super job, okie doke, and we're going to finish that one there. And let's turn onto the side that you haven't already been on. So I'm going to turn to the other end of my mat. And we're going to start off once again with your full glutes. So nice and straight from your shoulders down to your feet. Mouse holes open, pelvic floor onto floor 3. Top hand onto your top headlight if you can. And we're starting off once again with that nice lift in a neutral position for your hip. Going as far as you can go comfortably and under control. And so that's under the control bit includes keeping your mouse hole open all the way through. Watch again that you don't land with a plop. And check for any tension creeping in around that shoulder. Okay, we're now going to change So your toes are leading the way. Again, watch for this one that you don't let your leg creep forward. So you want to keep your leg going straight up and down above the leg that you're lying on. So again, regular breathing. Pelvic floor onto floor 3. Last one of this one. And then we'll finish off once again turning the leg in, and with this one remember it's just watching that you don't roll forward through the pelvis. So this is all about, when we're working our hips, it's all about making sure we've got independent movement hip from pelvis, so that when you're thinking about applying your leg aids and saddle, you can move your leg independently from the hip and the pelvis doesn't come to unless you particularly want it to. So keep the breathing, keep the pelvic floor. For your last one. Great job. Okay, we're going to come up onto your hands and knees. And I'd like you now to be hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, pelvic floor onto floor 3. Tuck your toes underneath your feet and you're going to lift your knees just off the floor and slowly back down. So it's pelvic floor, little lift and slowly back down. Try to keep your back flat as you do it. If you want to make it a little bit harder, hands a little further in front of your shoulders this time. And so you go pelvic floor, lift the knees and over into your plank position, back over the knees and down. So it's pelvic floor, lift, over into your plank, back over and down. You don't need to hold your plank position. What we're looking at is the quality of your movement in and out of the plank position. Particularly again on the way back down, but also making sure that your plank position is where you want it and you don't end up in a glorified cobra with your bottom in the air. It's a bit like your movements in the saddle. You want to end up exactly where you wanted and how you wanted to get there. And do one last one of these. Okay, then bring your bottom back onto your heels if you can and let your hands stretch out in front if this is comfortable. If it's not comfortable for your back, just go in whatever position feels right for you. And once you get there, a couple of nice deep breaths. Then bring your hands back towards your knees and we're going to come up into standing. Okay, so get your feet back underneath you and we're going to stand on one leg. And just focus in that position on being relaxed through your upper body, so there's no tension creeping in, and focus on what you feel through your foot. So all the feedback that you feel through your foot is so important and we so often just ignore it. So feel the whole of your foot sinking into the floor. I'm going to swap and do the same thing on the other side. So again, feel your foot relax through your upper body. Balance is such a key part of riding, but so many of us get tense when we're trying to balance. So it's really useful sometimes just to focus on balance with relaxation. Okay, then both feet onto the floor. And I'd like you to bring your arms up and out into a V. Then take that V behind you so you really open out down the front of your chest. And then bring your hands back up. Again, take your hands behind you, nice big stretch. And up to the top. And we're going to do one more. So take your arms behind, good big stretch. And then bring your arms back down by your side. Check your feet are underneath you, your headlights are to the front, and your shoulders are still relaxed and down. And we are going to finish there. So nice little selection, working pretty much every area of your body. I hope you found that an enjoyable session to do. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It's just so wonderful when I get new subscribers. Take care and I'll see you again very soon.